Hello, welcome to Crochet and Beyond. My name is Angela and today I'm going to show you how to make this bookmark. About 2 years ago, I made a bookmark in cotton thread and it was a success. It had so many views on it and I guess people like that because I went really step by step on how to get used to crochet with thread. This thin piece of string here using a very thin hook. This is a 1.5 millimeter hook. All right, now if you follow that video first, it's in the descriptions below, there is a link. If you do that project first, I'm sure you're ready for this one. If you are landing on this project here and you're like, oh nice, I want to crochet with thread as well, but you never crocheted with thread before, I highly recommend that you watch that video and try that bookmark first. What you will need for this project here is cotton thread of size 10. Alrighty, any color will do, one for the main body of the page mark here, and then a contrasting color. 1.5 millimeter hook, so a really tiny one. You will also need a bigger one, a 2.75, to crochet this tassel here. I mean, the tassel itself is not crocheted, but what comes through the page marker here is actually a foundation chain. In this bookmark here, I'm going to use the climbing shell stitch. All right, so if you use a multiple of 10 chains plus 7 as a foundation chain, you will have the right amount. So I use the minimum for that stitch, which is 17, and I got this done. So you may also go on the links in the description below. There is a video there that teaches you how to do the climbing shells in worsted weight yarn. And I have a blanket project that I am working on with that, with those squares that I'm doing. So if you're not quite sure about crochet with thread, you might want to practice a little bit more with worsted weight yarn first and then attempt some thread crocheting because this is a bit more fussy. The stitches are the same, everything is okay. It's just like regular crochet, but it's so tiny and the final motor skills just have to be really practiced there. And if you need glasses, yep, glasses, reading glasses might be something to consider. So with this all in mind, let's get started. With a 1.5 millimeter hook and crochet thread size 10, let's chain 17. Let's make a loop here to make your very first knot. Hold the loop between your middle finger and your thumb. Bring the hook right into that loop and chain 3 and hold on here really tight. 1, 2, 3. Now hold on to the top and pull that string nice and tight. Good. Now you have a knot and 1 chain made. We want 17. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that you don't do your chains too tight nor too loose. They gotta be just right. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Good, that's your foundation chain. Now, the very first row, I'll say, is the hardest because there is so little to hold on to here. It can get a bit frustrating working around this thin piece of thread here. So be patient. If your first row doesn't look good, unravel and do the chain and your first row again. Now, first row here is all double crochets and chains. All right, so let's get your first double crochet done. You need to do a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. Make a loop here first. So let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the one. Do a double crochet right in there. Now a double crochet on the next chain. Yeah, see, it's a bit difficult to hold on to, so go slowly. And a double crochet in the next chain. And still another double crochet in the next chain. Good. So you did a total of 4 double crochets here. But look at this. Technically speaking, there is 4, but this first one here, that was those chains that came over, that kind of folded over like that because you did a double crochet on the 4th chain from the hook. Well, that roundedness here is considered a double crochet. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a group of 5 double crochets. Cool? Let's build a shell. Loop here for you to be ready for your double crochet. Skip 2 chains. That's 1. Let me point with the hook. That's the one you skip. That's the one you skip. That's the one you insert. And give me a double crochet. Oh, see, I missed it again. That's the one you skip. That's the one you skip. That's the one. And double crochet into it. So there we go. Now another double crochet into the same chain. Same chain. Good. Now chain 2. Now you're going to do another 2 double crochets. Same space. Same space. Ay, careful. Good. That's your shell. So let's see how that turned out. So it kind of stretches out that chain a little bit. Makes it like a big hole right there. You see it? See that big hole? Yeah, it's okay. If you kind of pull it a little bit, it evens itself out. Should be fine. And I'm almost losing my chain right there. There we go. So that is your shell. Alrighty. Now we'll finish up with another 5 double crochets towards the end of the row. Here we go. Loop. Make sure you skip here because you skipped here. You gotta skip here too. You skip 1, 2, and that's where you insert. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one, 5. Okay, row 1 is done. Good one. Let's work into the second row. Pretty much the same thing here. The only thing is like we don't need to be counting how many chains we skip because now we're going to use this chain 2 space here to build your next shell upon. All right? Very good. Before you turn, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now turn. Okay, now pay attention where to insert your next double crochet. Make a loop here already, here and over already. So listen up, it's not right here. That's too close. Can you see it? It's right there. So it's where the second double crochet is. So that's the first one. That's the second right there at the top. Make sure that you also take both loops with you. Both loops. Alrighty? That's a double crochet right there. Then you do that same thing on the other stitch. That is already 3. That is here now 4. And we finish with 5. Good. Alrighty. Again, remember that the last 3 chains here before you turn are your first double crochet. Alrighty. Now, yarn over and use that hole right there, that chain 2 space to build your next shell, which was 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. 2 chains. 2 double crochets again in the same chain 2 space. There is your shell completed. Very good. All right. Okay. So now we want to finish up with 5 double crochets here. So you sort of have to skip these 2 here. See, there is 1 loop right there, 1 chain right there. There's 1 stitch right there. So we want the last 5. That's what you need to finish up 5 double crochets. So how it's going here is 5 double crochets on the edges and 1 shell in the middle. Now, of course, if you're doing something that is wider, oh, before I say that, hang on. I did 4 and I need to do my 5th one, and that's a funny one because it isn't exactly a double crochet, right? So you have to sort of use common sense here and just find a spot right there at the top, insert, do your double crochet and go. There we go, done. See, don't be too particular. Just, of course, don't insert in the bottom here. Make sure that you insert as high as possible. All right, good. Row to complete it. So as I was trying to say before we were hitting the end here, is that if you have a longer chain, if you do multiples of 10 plus 7, you can do as many multiples of 10 plus 7 you want, so that you can do something bigger. I don't know. Use your creativity of whatever you want to build. This is a bookmark, so it's the minimum I can do with this stitch. Now, if you have a larger idea, then you just keep repeating and repeating and repeating the same pattern. Pretty much every 5 double crochets, there is a shell. There's a bit of skipping in between and so on. So I'm going to go one more row with you, and then we're going to build up the length of this bookmark and go from there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Again, careful. It's not the one immediately to the chain. It's the one above the next double crochet. So be very particular of keeping consistent where you insert your hook in every single row, where that very first double crochet lands. Because if you change your mind on every single row, then your work will start looking a little like all over, and that will not look good at the end. Alrighty, we got them done right there. There is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Make that shell right there in the middle. There is 2 double crochets, 2 chains, another 2 double crochets. Good. And then let's finish up 5 double crochets at the end. So skip, skip, and that's the one. Be careful with the very last one. It's always a little bit rounded and different because after all it was a chain 3, right? Okay, so it looks like if you're not careful that you're done. But careful, don't let that happen. Otherwise, sometimes you will have 5, sometimes you will have 4. That would totally mess up your work. So that's your double crochet hiding there at the very top of it, and then give me your last double crochet. Alrighty. Okay, 3 rows done. Now look, how long you want this page mark is up to you. I don't know. I'm gonna go, and I like this to kind of fit usually like a normal size book. When I am deciding how many rows are enough for me, I will come back here and show you how to finish up, how to do an edging, and finish up this bookmark for you. Good. Okay, until soon. 25 rows completed. Very good. So now we're ready for the edging. I'm gonna keep this a very simple edging. I'm just gonna do single crochets. How many single crochets on each edging? I don't really know how many that will be. I just know that it looks pretty obvious that each big space here will take 2 single crochets. That's it. We will do the special corner, work here, another special corner, work single crochets here, another corner, and finish up here. So let's move forward here. We don't need to turn the work now. We're just gonna continue this way. Okay, now first of all, do a chain. That's it. All right. Now this space here, this big hole here, is where you will do your corner, and each corner will be 2 single crochets, 2 chains, and again 2 single crochets in the same space. That is your corner. All right. Now here is our big spaces, and we need 2 single crochets in all of them. That's it, yeah, very simple. It looks very obvious. You can see them well. You don't need to be putting the hook into specific spots. It's just a big hole right there. And go 2s and 2s and you will be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna pass forward a little bit. Meet you at the end of this row here. Now here's my second to last big space. So I have 1 there already. I'm gonna go 1 more. Now this space here I'm gonna use for my corner. So I'm just gonna do 1 more single crochet right here. See, on this smaller space? Just to get a little closer to the corner. That's it. Okay, now let's do the corner right here. Give me 2 single crochets, 2 chains, and another 2. There is this tail here. You might want to just kind of push it away. It can be a bit of a bother there. And then 2 single crochets. That's your corner made right there. Okay, now from here, single crochet on every stitch you see. They're kind of obvious. They were the base here of the double crochets. This was your foundation chain earlier, right? On the big hole here, you do 2, 1 here, 2 here. Okay, then here we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 stitches right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now our corner, and this is my corner right here. 2 singles, 2 chains, and then 2 singles again. Okay, now from here you do the same way you did the other side. 2 single crochets on each big opening, and I'm gonna meet you at the end of this edge again. Okay, now you have 2 more to do. It looks like you have 3, I know. 1 and 2. So you're gonna leave that one undone. Okay, and then pull this edge up a little bit because it tends to want, that point of the corner tends to want to drop too much to the bottom here. So just pull it up a bit. Okay, leave 1 stitch here and then find that first single crochet, pull in and close. It kind of brings it together a little bit. There we go. Okay, all right, now let's cut. All right, and pull through. Oops, come on. There. And here we go. All done. Let's weave in the ends. For that, I have a needle with a dual point, the big eye. And weaving the ends is always very simple. I like to just find my way through the single crochets. I kind of go backwards, so it tucks in that knot. And then go into the bottom, the base of the single crochets you've done. Right there. And then keep going until your yarn is very short. Okay, there we go. Do the same thing with the other side. Now that your page marker is done, let's work on the tassel that will run here from edge to edge in between these big openings here on the edges of each shell. What I will do to do this tassel here is to make a foundation chain of 35 chains. I use a contrasting color, however I make it a little thicker by tripling up the string. Okay, so go ahead and cut 3 strings, 2 yards each, and then put them together so it becomes this more bulkier string here that you will be working with. Because of that, you will need a thicker hook and I have a 2.75 here. I figured that that works just perfect for this size of new thickness that I'm going to be working with. Also make sure that you have a needle with a dual point and a very big eye here. For me, 35 chains worked. Now, you might want to give and take a little bit. So make your 35 and then you will have to measure it against the bookmark and see if it is the amount we want. I'll show you what you need when we get there. Now notice also that crocheting with 3 strings can be a little fussy. As you crochet, make sure that you loop all 3 strings and that you crochet them all together, otherwise things might start looking a little weird, so you don't want that. Leave it about, I would say, 2 inches. Start your initial knot any way you like. However, your initial knot cannot be too tight. So this is how I do it. I make a loop, bring the hook right there, and I'll give 3 chains. That's 1, keep holding on to that loop. That's 2, and that's 3. All right, now let go here. Hold on tight and don't pull the string too tight, very loosely. Just keep it very loose. So it looks like there is a chain there, but it's not. It's your knot that is very loose. It needs to be loose because later on we will put the edge tassels through this hole, so it can't be too tight. Now that is your foundation, your first foundation chain right there, and I'm looking into 35. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 33, and 34. There we go. Oh, forgive me, I said 35. That's the one. 35 chains. Okay, now let's measure this against the bookmark. So your chain needs to be somewhat stretchy, can't be too tight, but can't be very irregular in the loops either, because that just won't look good. So make sure that your chain is even. Now pick up the marker and measure it against the mark. So if you lay it out right here, nice and straight, you will have the edge right there. And when you close this up, it's going to be right there on the edge. Now again, if you made 35 and your page mark is way longer, you might want to open a couple stitches until you have exactly this. It doesn't really matter if it's 32, 35, or maybe 36 or 37. It depends on how your chain was done. Once you decide your size, very good, cut about, I don't know, 3 inches, more or less. Very good. And then you will have a lot of yarn left over, so do not dispose of this yarn. You will need this, okay? Now, here, loop through it. And again, do not tighten this knot too tight. Keep it loose, just like that. Okay, so your chain is done. Now pick up that needle. And it doesn't matter which side you get started with. Bring all 3 strings through the big eye. And then you will start working this chain into the bookmark. All right, so I start at the bottom. Okay, bring your needle in to the big hole there. Pull through. All right. And then leave it about, let's say, 1 chain tucking out like that. Just about like that. Okay, now the chain here has 2 sides. You noticed that, right? There is the one that looks like a braid, nice and cute. And then there is the wrong side of it that looks a bit bumpy. Now we want to always twist the wrong side to the same side, and it wants to fight you here, so you have to really work it out, okay? Now, next hole, under and over, and pull through. And if it fights you, just go a little bit more forceful, it'll get there. And if the chain is twisting, you have to just work through it. It's a bit stubborn. There we go. And let it lay flat. Now hold it here, otherwise this part will start escaping. So hold on tight right there. And as you go up the bookmark, keep holding always tight closely to the spot you're inserting the needle. And then go under and out. the chain is not to your favor. Every time it just wants to twist to the other side. There we go. We want the braided looking part looking up. And then sometimes it looks a little bit like this. And if you just let go like that, it kind of unwinds itself and goes back to normal. And then, yeah, if the needle runs away, then we go threading in again. It's a big, that's why you need a big eye here, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna be wrestling with this and get frustrated and don't, yeah, it's not worth it. All right, so from here, you keep tucking in and out, making sure that the braid is looking right side up, in and out. All right, so I'm gonna pass forward here so that when we are towards the end, then I'll tell you how we will proceed. Okay. And here on your last one, you're gonna pull it through the middle hole and leave it right there. There we go. See, my 35 chains worked perfectly. All right, now you're going to chain another one and do exactly the same, and you're gonna thread it through the other side, starting at the same side at the bottom here, finishing at the top through the middle. And then I'm gonna show you what to do next. There we go. Both chains have been gone through. Already looking good, doesn't it? All right, now you're gonna pick up the ends here that you cut off earlier and you're gonna fold it in half. So there we go. Fold it in half and cut it in the middle. Okay. And then join the whole thing. One big bushy tassel here. Okay, do the same thing with the other side. Fold it in half. And cut it right there in the middle. Okay, and that one will go on the other side. All right, so let's start with the side that we started pulling the string in. Right here. So what you have to do here, you need to take your tassel, fold it in half, and kind of hold it like here, like a loop. See? Like a loop. All right. Now, hold on to it. Join both beginnings here, and that's why earlier I told you to keep the initial knot quite loosey. You might actually maybe even want to loosen it up even more. See, it gets, oh, that was a bit too much. So you might want to loosen it up nice and good. So put a needle through it and just pull it a bit. There we go, and that loosens up that initial knot. I think I overdid it, so just make sure it's enough so that you can bring the hook in to both, one from the top, the other one from the bottom. Okay, then loop this through, and you have to kind of wriggle this kind of sort of with everything you got here, pull through. There we go. If you feel that any of your strings escaped, you have to do it again. And then the strings that were here attached already, that were the ends, hold it all together. Then pull through the whole thing, and then make it your final knot. There we go. Okay. You get that? So it might be a bit messy at first, but just keep wriggling and then it'll go through. All right, that's the one. Then you take the tassel here and cut the ends even. Now let's do that on the other side. The other side is a little different. Again, you might want to loosen up your ends a little bit. Remember, I told you not to make it too tight. So you might want to just kind of like go back there and loosen up that knot. I don't know why they got so tight. There. I don't think I was paying attention. Okay, good. Now, let the tassel face you and pick up the other one. Here we go. Fold it in half, make a loop. There, okay. Now, here. Okay, through that loop. Okay, now I did it a little too much. Okay, there. That's the one I want, see? I want this here. Nice and easy. Aye. Right there. Okay, and then the other side as well. Right there. Okay, so got them all? This one here is not too specific about over or under. It's not a big deal. Okay, then take the loop here and get that through. Again, if your strings escape, because there's 6 strings to maneuver there, right? Make sure that you do it again. Oh, see, one escaped. Make sure it comes back. Oh, a whole bunch of them escaped. So if you just kind of, there, they all came. See, it's a bit of a mess right now, but hey, you can just kind of straighten them out. But you need to find where your loop is. All loops in one big loop. This one here became a bit confusing. So if that happens, maybe you might want to just do it again. Find where the middle is. You have to wrestle with it a little bit, okay? Okay, there's my loop. Here is the loops I want. That's why they need to be big enough. Okay, pull through. Hold on really tight here, then it goes right into the hook, see? There, pull through. Okay, good. Now, hold on here and grab the other strings here too, the ones that were the ends, and pull everything through. Okay, and then close it up. Okay, see? Now you might want to tighten that knot. All right, okay. Now it got a little stretched out, so you might want to just kind of pull them in a little bit. Like these guys here, they got a little pulled and tugged into, right? So you might just want to kind of loosen it up. Okay, there we go. Good. See? This way your tassels won't escape. And again, this side here, even out the ends. And then you're done. There we go. One side is a little longer than the other, but you might want to just work on that too. Make sure that both sides are even. Okay, I'm gonna cut that. Okay, now they look even. All right, there we go, all done. Good. Good job. Okay, if you completed this project, make a picture and please share in my Facebook group. Me and all the other followers there would love to see it. Yes. Okay, and bless somebody with just a little something that came from your own sweet hands. Right? Good job, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Try out my other projects here and share this project on your social media as well. I would love other people trying this out and maybe learning crochet as well. I have the 5 lessons on how to learn crochet. So anybody can do this. You don't need to have a special talent. You just need to practice, and it's a skill you learn. So thank you guys, and until soon.